My name's Nate. Welcome to the Nate Show. I have my friend Chuck with me here today. I think he's going to tell us a little bit about his life, his journey, his lessons along the way, and how he got here today. What's up, Chuck?
Not much, Nate. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. So, I always like to start out with a little visual of how your childhood was. So let's get back to let's go to 1945. World War II has just ended. You're 6 years old. It's Christmas morning.
Almost.
What's it look like?
Let's start with 1970. Christmas. I'm 6. Me being the overstimulated child that I was,
I'm sure you were.
constantly going,
Yeah.
living on no sleep. That's a standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably up at about 3 o'clock in the morning to see what Santa brought. And I'm sure that Santa had just left the house or
Yeah.
had just put his head to bed. And here I am digging through stuff and waking up my little brother, who would have been 3 at the time, dragging him out, who was in no shape to get out of bed. He'd rather stay in bed. So
Wasn't like you.
we're different. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Fair
different.
enough.
We're different like that. But I'd have been out there playing with stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, before everybody else got up,
Before
you
everybody
just
got up.
opened it up and went
Well,
down.
well, back then when Santa would bring gifts to my house, they weren't wrapped.
Oh, okay.
So like he pulled them out of the bag and set them down, and
That makes
they
sense.
were assembled.
I wonder when they started wrapping presents for Christmas.
I don't know. I don't know.
Was
I mean,
after
I'm sure
1950?
some of them were always wrapped, but
Yeah.
when Santa came to my house, they were all unwrapped and
Huh.
out of packages and sitting on the floor.
Now, so are you saying people were wrapping presents then? Yours just weren't wrapped? Like, is that?
I think so. Like
okay.
like if we went to, so we would, like, Christmas Eve, we always went to my grandmother's house. She lived right over here
Mhm.
on corner of Greenmont Mountain Street.
Mm-hmm.
So we would all go there, and we had a big family Christmas with all of my aunts and uncles and everybody,
Yeah.
and those gifts would be wrapped.
So was your household, your immediate household, were you well off or were you below poverty?
We were
or-
we were we were probably at the time considered lower middle class.
Mhm.
Things were tight. I know my mom and dad, when I was first born, they were still living in Michigan. They lived in a really poor part of the area that I'm from.
Okay.
It was called Rives Junction, is where they lived when I was first born, and it was really low,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
low,
Michigan's tough.
lower class. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough where they are. My hometown's a small farming community. It's about the size of Springfield, but it's
Okay.
it's mostly farming. There's a lot more urban area now, but back in the day, it was nothing but farmland.
So you grew up in Michigan then?
I grew up part of my life in Michigan. Moved down here. Boy, I wish I could tell you. I don't remember what year now.
Okay.
I was little though. We moved
Yeah.
down here, and my parents, my grandmother, loaned them money to build a house.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And they built a house when we moved down here, and we lived there for about 3 or 4 years. And then no, it had to be more than that. My sister's 8 years younger than me. They built a house on California Avenue, which was by the Melody Drive-In and the Showboat Drive-In at the time. There were
Mhm.
two drive-ins right there.
So you were young enough to where you don't think that move really affected you then too much?
Well, I don't know, because I loved going back there. We would take weekend trips. Like, we'd get in the car on a Friday night and we'd go up to Michigan and come back on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So it was a big part of my life.
Okay. I gotcha.
I spent a lot of time in Michigan
Mhm.
with family.
So was alcohol a big part of your family and
Not-
using or anything like that?
Not well. So my father was an alcoholic. Is an alcoholic.
Mhm.
He's what you consider a dry drunk. He never worked a program. He just quit drinking because my mom threatened to take us away. I don't remember alcohol being a huge part of our family lives,
Mhm.
but it was a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
The extended family, I don't remember it being a huge part of that,
Mhm.
but I do remember it being around.
Mhm.
But it was a huge part of my life because my dad would be gone and not come home.
Right.
And, there were times where my mom loaded us in the car and
Yeah.
went and picked him up at a bar, went
Yeah.
to find him, stuff like that. So ultimately it came to the point where she um, gave him an ultimatum.
Mhm.
You figure it out or get out.
Yeah.
Um, and he decided, family was more important, so he
Right.
quit. Does
That's
he
awesome.
still have some latent tendencies?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not, he's not, I can't tell. It's 40 some odd years that he's not had anything to drink. So,
That's amazing. So tell me about the first time you had a sip of alcohol.
well, as I was little, I'm sure it was one of those, you know, set the baby bottle and the beer bottle and move the baby bottle and get the beer bottle, when I was little
Uh-huh.
like that. But I remember stealing Stroh's Light out of my parents' refrigerator.
How old do you think you were when you did that?
Probably seven,
Yeah.
6, 7 or 8, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason I remember that is as I've gone through my recovery here, I just celebrated 7 years.
Wow.
On November 10th, I just had 7 years sobriety, and it occurred to me in my
Delayed applause on the 7 years.
Thank you. That's all good. Thank you, Carl. But I came to the realization that I'm almost to the point in my life where I have as much sobriety as I did as a child.
That's fantastic.
So from the time I was 8 until I was 48,
Uh-huh.
I was drinking. So
Yeah.
I had a 40-year run of and it got progressive. You know how it works.
Mhm.
It got progressively worse. I wasn't drinking all the time when I was little, but we were definitely stealing beers when we had
Mhm.
family functions. We were definitely my neighbor down the street growing up. God rest his soul. He passed. He was 47 when he passed away. I still don't know for sure, but I'm quite sure it had something to do
Yeah.
with addiction.
I remember the first time I had drank alcohol. I was probably like 5 years old, and my mom was having like a block party out at Ronez.
Mhm.
And if anybody's familiar with Ronez, especially in the 90s, like it was bad. But she was having a block party, and like our whole house was filled with all these people I didn't know. And I'd come down, it was probably like midnight or something, and I'm like 4 or 5 in my underwear, and she's like, here, have a drink of this rum and coke. It's specifically rum and coke, and I took a drink of it and loved the taste of it. And but I think she did it more to put me to sleep.
Yeah, it's good.
But it's
Nighttime
very like it's crystal clear in my mind.
Mm, yeah.
My first drink.
And we would, you know, 11, 12, 13, we're stealing alcohol out of my buddy's parents' bar because they had a stocked bar, not just a
Mhm.
bar with alcohol in it, but stocked. There were
Yeah,
multiple bottles and multiple
yeah.
things. And
So we're talking now the first time you actually got drunk, drunk.
yeah, we're talking about drinking you know, Jack Daniels doing mixing that with stuff because it tasted terrible when we were kids, but we were doing it
Hmm.
for the reason that is my issue.
Hmm.
The reason that I'm an alcoholic because I was chasing the buzz, not worried about the flavor.
Hmm.
And we would take that and mix it with, we'd make Jack and Coke or uh, vodka and cherry 7 Up was pretty good.
Yeah.
Cherry 7 Up back in the day. I don't think they even make that anymore, but I can tell you, I couldn't sniff cherry 7 Up after a while because it just make me sick from drinking too much and puking. So, but we would we would drink out of their bar. I have a vivid memory of my very first shot was Everclear. Very first time I did
Ooh.
shot, we had no idea. We knew it was
Yeah.
strong.
Stings the
It,
nostrils.
and we did a shot of Everclear, and I fell down a set of basement steps, carpeted steps, completely blacked out, hit the floor.
Hmm.
Got up at the bottom and realized what had happened. Carpet burn all down my side, and right back at it.
Yeah.
So I had all the signs early in my life that I had an issue with it. We were chasing it. We would pay my buddy's uh, sister's boyfriend. He would go and get Budweiser and Sun Country wine coolers. Used to
Hmm.
buy them in a 2 liter,
Yeah.
and we would drink. We would each get a bottle of Sun Country,
Hmm.
and he'd get an 18 pack of Budweiser because those were available at the time.
So you just did like the semi-normal, like on the weekends you would hang out with your friends and get drunk, and it wasn't like an every single day thing.
No, not at that
Weekend.
point, but I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
definitely a plan.
Hmm.
We were definitely planning for the weekend,
For sure.
getting the
And
money
looking
together
forward to
to
it.
do it. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely a plan.
Hell yeah.
Planning where we were going to go, how we were going to get away from the parents, what we were telling them we were going to do.
Uh-huh.
It was a plan.
Yeah, sir.
So, and at the same time, there are, some drugs in my story. Marijuana was smoking pot,
Hmm.
and So not regularly because that was a little harder to get
Mhm.
for us, but we could still get it.
Did you ever experience with any harder things when you were younger,
Oh,
teenagers, like 10 to 20?
when I was in my 20s, I tried Coke and I didn't like it. I'm already amped up enough and zooming all over the place. It was not for me.
Yeah.
Mushrooms and acid,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't mind acid so much until I had a little too much liquid acid in
Yeah.
my mid 20s and not
You have a
mid
bad
20s,
trip?
early 20s, and not a bad trip, just too long.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Just one of those things where it wasn't bad. I was just ready for the ride to be over, and it just was not over.
How long did that one last?
It went about 12 hours
Okay.
because
I
it was
gotcha.
because the wasn't coming out. There used to be little squirt bottles with the
Yeah.
liquid. It wasn't coming out, and a dude who was a buddy of mine that
Oh, it
had
finally came out.
if I was like ketchup, and I was like, he's like, when he looked at me, he was like, oh
no.
and I was like, and there's nothing you can do. It's not like you can get it out of your mouth. You're done.
Yeah.
So it was I watched Dances with Wolves twice in a row, which was a
Did you
great
think
movie.
the Indians were coming at you?
You think about that. That's a 3 hour movie,
It is.
and I watched it twice in a row.
That's fantastic.
Uh,
That's a great movie to trip on.
it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But I was after that. I never did. I never did acid
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I was done with that. But
I had experiences not with acid. It wasn't very popular around when I was a kid, or I would have surely done it. But I did like Adderall a lot when I was in my teens, like early teens, 14, 15, 16. And I would stay up for like 6 or 7 days, dude. And I would just be like, oh, I'm so tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to go to sleep right now.
Yeah.
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 Like, I'm praying to God. Like, just let me
I'm the kind
go
of
to sleep.
I'm the kind of person I don't need a ton of sleep, so I can live without sleep. When I was younger, I could go 3 hours. I could go on 3 hours, 4 hours sleep. Now I only really need 5 or 6. 8 is too much for me. I don't feel good when I sleep too much, which I know is kind of weird, but that's who
No,
I
I
am.
get it.
But my best friend and I would smoke or drink or whatever and stay up. And it was always a challenge who could stay up. He always won. Who could stay up the longest? But I'm not. But I'm not talking. I'm not talking. I'm not talking 12 or 18 hours. I'm talking 72 hours.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of drugs. It was just because that's who we were, and it was a challenge to see who could stay up.
I did the same
But
shit.
during that time, we're drinking and we're smoking and
Yeah.
we're doing stuff. And this would be my mid-teens, 16, 17,
Mhm.
15, 16, 17, stuff like that.
So what kind of so did you go to college? What kind of schooling did you do when you're in your 20s?
When I was in my 20s, I was in college. I went to Clark Tech before it was Clark State.
Okay.
I went to Clark Tech for about a year, not quite a year. And then I transferred. I was in the accounting program, business management to accounting, and then went from accounting at Clark Tech, I think it might have been Clark State when I left there. And I went to Wright State.
So you didn't know what the hell you wanted to do with your life?
No, but I was at Wright State and I was in the accounting program at Wright State. And I was running a business with my dad at the time. We were doing lawn care and landscaping.
Okay.
My dad had purchased the business. I had worked in the summer times with a guy that owned the business and he was ready to get out of it. My dad was working in Columbus, driving back and forth and wanted to do something different. So he purchased the business and took over this lawn care business and ran it for 25 years or so. We were in it, but I was going to school full time, trying to work full time, and it was too much. And I walked out of my class, my junior year class of accounting at Wright State, and didn't go back.
So you didn't get a degree or anything like that?
Not in business, not in accounting. I did go back later and got I have a master's degree of education.
Okay.
In math, science, and reading.
He's a teacher.
Yeah, I was a school teacher for 15 years. I flipped the script because I was running the business with my parents and I was kind of miserable, but I didn't realize at the time part of that misery was my drinking.
Okay.
I realized that part of that depressive piece of it took me some time because my ex-wife, we partied together. We got together when we were 18. We were on again, off again. We were together 8 years before we got married. And then, so we were together 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm trying to build a timeline here. When was the first time that alcohol really started to become a problem?
when did I know it was a problem or when did it become a problem? That's two different things.
Which one came first?
When it became a problem. It was a problem when I was in my mid 20s.
Okay.
I would drink until I sometimes would pass out
Hmm.
or get so shit faced and silly that we're fighting and doing stuff and arguing and things like that. And that was a problem then. And I didn't realize how much of a problem it was for me because I could drink and pass out and wake right back up and drink again. I
Hmm.
could go out and puke and come back in and drink again. I didn't realize that that wasn't normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That makes sense.
People around me knew it wasn't normal. People who were drinking as much as me would go, I don't know how you do that,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a
But they
magic
would
trick.
say that, and you wouldn't really even
It
register that
never
it was a
registered
problem.
to me that it was a problem, that
Yep.
my body's telling me, hey, you've had enough alcohol and I'm still drinking.
Hmm.
So that would have been in my 20s, but
So,
it was a problem relationship wise with my ex and I because we both would get my ex-wife and I because we both would get pretty, we drink a lot. We would
hmm,
drink and then we'd get in arguments and fights. So it was a
yeah,
very um, that alcohol without that piece in place, it probably wouldn't have been as much a problem with our
yeah. I mean, they
relationship.
call it a family disease. So, I mean, it's not just the alcoholic that's harming itself. It's there's so many casualties around us when we're
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah.
So okay. So when did it actually become a problem then?
So it became a problem in my late 40s. So I went through a divorce in my I was 42. We went through 41, 42. We went through a divorce. Just was just stupid. It just was one of those things where we were still drinking. There was a lot of that going on between the two of us, and things weren't good in life, which is what you sign on
Hmm.
for better or for worse, is what you sign
Yeah,
on for. But
yeah.
the worst came to it, and it just was bad for both of us, and I basically gave up on my relationship with my ex-wife, which led to I had an affair, which I regret. I never put anybody through that. I'd never do it again.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a bad thing. The affair
Yeah.
wasn't the affair was the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't the whole relationship
Sure.
problem,
Yeah.
but that definitely was the end of it. And it was a difficult time. So what that ended up having me do is I moved back in with my parents. I was living in their house. I was
Hmm.
leaving because I didn't want to be in their house. There's a reason why I moved out in the first place.
Are you teaching at this time?
I was
Okay.
teaching, and I had left the job that I was at. I was at Indian Valley Green District. I left there and went to Springfield City Schools,
Hmm.
and
Had you had your first DUI by then?
I had not yet.
Hmm.
Um, so I was at Springfield City when I had my first DUI, OVI, whatever they wanted to call it back then.
Hmm.
I was with the same buddy that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, tell us the
My
story
best
about the
friend.
first
So
DUI.
this is my best friend since second grade, right?
Uh-huh.
I was with him, and we were in Fairborn. He was military, and he
Okay.
was living over by the base. He was stationed at Wright Pat. He
Yeah.
was working out of there. He was living over by the base. We were out drinking. There was a pool hall, and it was a
Hmm.
Sunday night. We went to watch football. We're watching some football. We ended up drinking. We went over to this pool hall that was by Wright State um, at the time, and we were shooting pool. I don't. All of a sudden, it's 2 a.m. Whatever. We're still drinking.
Yeah.
We go back to his place, and he's living with his girlfriend at the time that they had a baby together,
Hmm.
and she was less than pleased that we were walking in the house lit, and I
Yeah.
don't blame her for that.
Yeah.
I don't blame her for how she felt, but they were arguing and fighting, and I'm like, man, I can't stay here in this. I can't be here when this is going on. I got to go. So I'm driving back to Springfield. I'm coming back the back way,
Of
Dayton
course.
Dayton Avenue or whatever that comes all the way back from the backside of Wright State into Yellow Springs,
Hmm.
and I'm coming into Yellow Springs, and I'm dozing off. I'm
Hmm.
not. I'm not. I can tell you I wasn't drunk, but I had been drinking for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm dozing off, and I can feel it because it's 3 o'clock in the morning now, and I just needed some rest. My plan was to sleep at his house until 6, drive back to Springfield, get ready, and go to work.
Hmm.
And obviously my plan went awry. I fell asleep. I went around this corner. I'm like, I just got to find someplace to park, sleep for half an hour,
Yeah.
whatever. And it's a neighborhood, and I'm twisting and turning, and I can't find any place to park.
Yeah.
In that space of time, I fell asleep.
Oh,
I
shit.
dozed off, skipped a curb off into property, trying to miss trees when I came to. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like this.
Oh, no.
Bam, hit a tree, totaled my car. And
Mm,
it was funny, but not funny. It was at the time, it was Yellow Springs schools.
mm.
I was on the property of the high school. I hit a
Shit.
tree,
Shit.
and the treasurer for the school district at the time was my ex-wife. So she had to do the report on everything. I didn't damage anything. I didn't do anything that was permanent, so they didn't press any charges. They could have. Highway patrolman showed up. Somebody called the cops, obviously. Highway patrolman showed up.
So you're a teacher and you
Wrecked on teacher property, on school property. Yeah, what a mess, right? This is the way my life is. So I
Oh,
so I ended up blowing,
that's
which,
funny.
everybody tells you don't blow, but I didn't
Mhm.
think that I was going to blow positive. I did, but it was it was 0.011.
That's
So I was under,
yeah.
by a mile,
Yeah.
the legal limit. But
Yeah.
because I had a crash with
Hmm.
alcohol on my breath or in my system, it's called an attachment.
Really?
So what they did was
I
is
didn't know
they
that.
arrested me. My dad had to come pick me up. I had to call my dad. He came pick me up. The highway patrol will release you. They don't hold you.
Hmm.
Um, my dad came and picked me up. I went to court for it, and they knocked it down to failure to control with an alcohol attachment. So it
Hmm.
technically wasn't an OVI, but it was my
Okay.
first experience with drinking and
Alcohol.
driving and alcohol
Yeah.
and the police. That was the
Hmm.
very first experience, and I was 43 maybe.
Hmm. So did you got a second one, right? Did your second one come soon after?
Second one came um, almost 2 years after. The second one came, same buddy, still living in Fairborn.
Hmm.
We were at a place called Cadillac Jacks,
Hmm.
watching football. See a pattern here? Watching football, drinking, driving back, and I'm coming up. I think it's called Beaverview Drive. It's the road that runs down and connects. I don't know. It connects someplace to someplace. It's a back way. Again, it's another back way to Wright State. It's over by
You got to take the
it's
back
over by
roads all the time.
Fairborn High School. But I mean, I knew these roads because I drove them all the time, going back and forth to school and stuff. So I knew where I was at in Fairborn quite a bit. And I'm coming back, and he wanted to go get water because he didn't have any water at his apartment. Um, so he wanted to go get bottled water. So we're going up to Five Points, where Five Points comes together. There's a speedway, and he wanted to. So I'm going that way, and I'm driving down Beaver. Well, they changed the speed limit.
Hmm.
It used to be 45 through there, and I was doing 50.
Shit.
Well, it's now 35. And there's a highway patrolman sitting in these storm locks, pops me. I
Yeah.
get arrested. Ended up calling a friend.
Did you blow that time?
I did.
Shit.
And the only reason I blew, well, I know I don't have much sense. The only reason I blew that time is because at that point, it was a 2 year suspension if you didn't.
Oh,
It was
shit.
only a 1 year suspension if you blew and you weren't positive or not at all,
Okay.
if you can beat it. So I blew, and what did I blow this time? 0.012.
Hey,
So I'm still under,
you're getting there.
still under.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because now it's my second offense.
Mm.
So the
With
judge
alcohol
with
attachment.
the alcohol attachment, but this time it's an OVI, even though it's not 0.08, it's still an OVI because you're operating a
Learning
vehicle under
stuff.
the influence. So and the judge I went in front of, she gave me 3 days in the ADC down there in Xenia
The
because it was
hotel.
Greene County again. Yeah.
The hotel videos, yeah.
Yeah, no, not the hotel, the actual jail.
Oh,
I did the time before I did the hotel trip. I'm sorry, the very first one with the attachment. I did the 3 day
hmm.
stay in the hotel over there on Sunset.
Oh, okay. So you'd already done the hotel. So
I'd
now
already
you
done
do
the
3 days in
hotel.
jail.
So
It's
I
your
did
first time going to jail?
first time going to jail. 3 days in the ADC, which is a big open space if anybody's been in Xenia's jail.
No, only Springfield.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a big difference.
There's
The
a
one in
big
Xenia's
difference, I'm sure.
a lot nicer.
Yeah.
And it's wide open, and they have bunks where you stay, and they lock you in at night.
Yep.
But anyway, but it's a big open block and a big open bunk. And
So
there's
how
like
are you
4
feeling after your
guys.
second well,
Not
your
not
second
good.
time?
I mean, she was nice enough to let me do it in between Christmas and New Year's.
Mhm.
It happened right before Christmas.
Mhm. And how's this affecting your teaching?
Not at all because it's all outside of school.
Okay, I got you.
I'm not coming to school with alcohol in my system on my breath. I'm not coming in there, I'm not drinking on school time.
Yeah.
There's none of that. It's personal life.
So you're essentially getting slaps on the wrist right now legally. How,
And
how's the family going? You're so you're already divorced at this time. You're just
yeah,
living
I'm
by yourself,
divorced.
or?
I'm doing the things. I'm living still at my parents' house. Excuse me. Still living at my parents' house, and I'm going just out regular doing whatever I want to do when I don't have my kids, you know.
Hmm.
And the thing is that the way my life worked, my day was planned around where I was getting my alcohol at, what I was doing, and which
Hmm.
drive-through I'm hitting and what's close and where it's at. That's how at this point I'm
Yeah.
drinking daily.
Okay.
At this point, I might be stopping at Keg and Cork and getting a Traveler vodka along with two tall
Yeah.
boys, and I've
So
got that stuff.
it's a real problem
I've
at
got
this
stuff
point.
tucked away.
Yeah.
I'm on paper with the court system. I've got to go to meetings and I got to do, I got to show up and I got to test. So I'm playing that game
Yeah.
where I'm drink. I was at McKinley Hall. Um, I was at McKinley Hall for it, but I'd have to check in down in Xenia.
Okay. So you're
So
getting your first taste of recovery. You're
yeah,
getting
yeah,
so what are you thinking about meetings the first time you're coming in?
not me,
Not you.
not
Yeah.
me. This is not me. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I don't do
I'm
that.
not as bad as that guy.
No, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. That whole denial phase of it, that whole piece that you don't get until you accept the fact that you have an issue. It's
Yeah.
funny how that whole switch, how it all
Yeah.
changes.
Until the pain's great enough, right?
Man, man,
Okay, so did you get a third?
I
Three
did.
strikes are out?
I did. I got my third. My third OVI was in Springfield, and it was Christmas break. Uh, we're out of school, I'm driving. I got home. I was at a bar that a buddy of mine owns. I'll keep it
Watching
off there so he
football?
doesn't get himself in
Are we
trouble.
watching
No,
football?
not this time. No football this time. It was just me out, hanging out with friends, drinking and driving home from out by Enon, driving all the way home, back roads, got all the way home,
Hmm.
got home, and my food that I had left over from the night before, I had planned on eating. My nephew, who was living at my parents at the time as well,
Oh
had eaten
no,
it all.
that little
And I
shit.
was pretty angry. Big shit. He's 6'6", like 370 pounds. He's a big boy.
And he was
Um,
good.
he ate all my food though. So I was mad about it. So I drove down Main Street to Taco Bell.
Always delightful Taco Bell.
Yeah, only
Uh,
Taco Bell that's normally open 24/7.
uh-huh.
I'm sitting and they're not answering, they're not answering, they're not answering. It's midnight. It's not even 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And they're closed. So how a 24-hour place is closed is beyond me, but they were closed. So I came out, I was driving a Suburban at the time. I had a big blue Suburban and I drove out, cut the corner, came across the curb, uh, and I had a Honda come flying past me, a little white Honda. And I had a cop pull up. Well, I didn't know he was behind me, but I came out and I stopped at the stoplight and then at Belmont and Main Street, or yeah, Belmont and Main Street. I was at that stoplight and I took off. Well, when I took off, he hit his lights and pulled me over. I pulled over in McDonald's on Main Street and I, was confused
Hmm.
as to why. Now I had been drinking,
Hmm.
so there was no question.
Yeah.
But I was confused as to why he pulled me over. And he's
Sure.
like, "Well, I got you doing 45." And I'm like, "I wasn't doing 45, sir." I said, "There's no way, state boy." I
Yeah.
said, "There's no way I was doing 45 miles an hour. It's not
Yeah.
possible." I said, "I just pulled away from there." He goes, "No, I got you doing 45." So what had happened, and I'm 100% sure of this now because this is what my attorney
What's the
also agreed
Honda?
with. The Honda is who he clocked.
Yeah.
He came up behind me though, which you can't confuse a big blue 1999 Suburban for a 2000 and whatever Honda.
Yeah. He
But
read your plates, didn't
he ran me,
he? You knew.
and he ran me, and I had priors, so
Yeah.
he pulled me over. And when he pulled me over and got me, he took me in, and my again, I had to call my dad. My dad came and got me. This is my third OVI. It's in Springfield. I got had a pretty good attorney. They wanted to put me in jail for 18 days, and he
Hmm.
got it knocked down to 5. I didn't. I did 5. I did 5 days at in Springfield, and that was
Hmm.
rough. Springfield's rough.
That's tough.
It's tough. I
That's
mean,
real tough.
all the people want to argue about getting a new jail, not spending time in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eat
I
some
get
of
your
that
tax
food.
money and I understand,
Yeah.
but if you've done any time in there,
Hey,
they just for just for the human piece of it for the people, whether you agree or disagree why they're in there, it's not that's all your choice. If
it's
you want to
pretty run down.
judge,
Yeah, it's
it's
pretty bad.
bad.
It's
It's
really
bad.
bad.
So, but
Hmm.
anyway, I did 5 days
You
and
digress.
yeah, I did my 5 days and got out of there, and all this time, my kids are seeing this. I got four kids, and they're in there. Oh, this would have been in their high school for two of them, and two of them in one of them middle and one of them in elementary,
Mm-hmm.
and they're seeing all this and what kind of example I am as a father. And I'm not missing their lives, but I'm not present.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
How
there.
could you be?
I'm there when I'm physically I'm there when I'm supposed to be.
Mentally or not? Yeah.
Mentally,
You're
I'm
so
never
far apart.
there. Mentally, I'm never there.
Mm.
And that's a piece that I can never get back. That I really, um, it's really been a hard thing for me to come to terms with
Yeah.
the time that I've missed in their lives because of
Mm-hmm.
it. But present or not, mentally, just not there. But
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going through the program again, McKinley Hall, and I'm showing up and doing my thing. I'm playing the 3-day game. I'll drink until here, and then I know I'm gonna get tested. Oh, we didn't get tested this week, so I can drink until, and I'm gonna get tested. And then, I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing that game,
Yeah.
and not using any. I'm not drinking or not smoking, not using any drugs or anything like that. Just drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I was always worried about losing my teaching license if I was
Mm-hmm.
smoking weed or anything like that. So I was pretty good about not
Yeah.
smoking weed. Um, I was just because if I tested positive for that, I'm going to lose my license. I'm not going to get, lose my teaching license for drinking. At least so I thought.
Yeah.
Uh, and so, program's still not doing a whole lot for me. I'll get my 8 meetings in. I once did 5 meetings in one day because I was getting close to the point that I had to return in my sheets
Oh,
in
shoot.
court. And I did 5 meetings in one day because I had to do 15 meetings.
Gotcha.
And I literally was
You were just
10 o'clock in the morning, noon meeting,
yeah.
3 o'clock meeting, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock meeting in Fairborn,
Yeah.
8 o'clock back in Springfield.
Yeah.
I was hitting it
Yeah.
the whole day, just getting meetings
But
done.
that was just because you're procrastinating, trying to work the system as best you
Just
could.
because I was working the system
Yeah.
and playing the game, trying to continue my old
Mhm.
ways and live my life the way that I wanted to live because I knew better than everybody else, right?
Right. Okay. So what was the deciding factor? The last straw that
The
broke?
last straw was my fourth OVI. Now, technically, it's not a fourth OVI. It's only my third because the first was an attachment.
That's true.
So I did not get a felony. I
Okay.
do not have a felony on my record, which doesn't matter. It's still 4 times that I've gotten
Yeah.
popped. Same buddy lives in Bell Fountain now.
Christmas time, football.
It
Let's go.
lives in Bell Fountain.
Where's
It's
Taco
no,
Bell?
it's November,
Close enough.
right? It's November,
Close enough.
and drive up to Bell Fountain, and we go out to it's called Route 68 Grill. It's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bank or something now, but it was Route 68 Grill at the time. And I had no intentions of drinking when I walked in that door. I knew that I needed to not. I knew that I had to be careful. I was still on probation with Springfield.
Shit.
10 months. I was 10 months out on my probation, which means I had until December, right? It's November. I was,
Mm-hmm.
well, 9 months, but I had to get to January.
Right.
December's still under coverage. December 18th is when my probation would end. And it's November 9th. It's November 9th, so I've got 10 months under my belt in my 11th month on probation with Springfield. Just did 5 days, did my 5 days in Springfield, months back, but worked the whole program, got all that, doing whatever meetings I have to do, and go into this bar with him. And the next thing I know, I'm drinking, doing shots of Apple Crown, which I'm not a whiskey drinker. I try not to drink it because it makes me sets a fire in my belly, makes me want to fight. I stayed away from dark liquors most of my life because I learned early that if I drank bourbon and I drank Jack, whiskey and stuff, I wanted to fight.
Shit.
But if I drank tequila,
Oh,
I don't want to fight.
just a happy
If
guy.
I drank vodka, I don't want to fight. But that's something in those whiskeys and
It's weird.
bourbons make me an angry person. So
Yeah.
so I stayed away from those. And I was really good about that. I held myself to it. But we were drinking Apple Crown for some reason, and I didn't even get angry in this situation either. But I got drunk, and I was drunk,
Yeah.
and I was good and drunk
Yeah.
at this time. And he only lived about 3 city blocks away,
Mm.
but it was a wiggle through sort of thing. And
Yeah.
I pulled out and I'm going towards this thing, and I don't know Bellefontaine that well.
Mm-mm.
And it's a lot of one ways in the
Mhm.
downtown area.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm going so much. And I'm
Sure.
driving, and he goes, "Well, take a left at the light." He's in the back seat. He's drunk,
Yeah.
And a girl I was dating at the time was with us. And she offered to drive, and I said, "No, I'm fine. I got this.
Yeah. Of
I'm
course.
driving. Of course, I'm in charge, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm in
Oh,
control
hey.
of everything." And I'm driving, and I go to take a left at the light, like he told me to. And he's like, "No, not this light. It's one way."
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Went left to
Yeah.
center.
Shit.
So I pulled around, and I did not stop right away. So they weren't very happy with me. I pulled around though, because he literally lived right around the block. So I pulled around, pulled through, parked in front of his apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and they they got me.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, I know, he's trying to give me a sobriety test, and
Mm-hmm.
I've said this in my lead before. He's doing the pen test, and I'm literally facing the cop car. Lights are flashing in my eyes. I
Mm-hmm.
can't follow that pen.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, "Why are we wasting time?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we doing this? You and I both know." Well, I refused to blow this time,
Hey.
and they weren't very happy with me. But they took me in, and I'm in downtown Bellefontaine City Jail, and I'm there overnight. And he's threatening to call a phlebotomist in and draw my blood and all this sort of stuff. And I'm ignorant to it. I don't know what they can or can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up blowing finally.
Yeah.
I ended up blowing. And when I did blow, which was a few hours after the initial arrest, when I did blow, I was still at 0.12.
Oh,
So I went
hey.
from the others were 0.012 and 0.011. This
Oh.
time I was 0.12.
Okay. I
So
misunderstood.
0.08, I was
You were
0.12.
cooked when you got pulled
So
off.
I was this time, and I knew at that point, like I said, he was doing the pen test in the snow. It's snowing sideways. It's
Mm-hmm.
blowing in my face. I'm looking at these lights, and I'm like, why do I keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I keep doing this?
Yeah.
And
Moment of clarity.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment I knew I gotta stop this.
Mm-hmm.
So transferred from Bellefontaine City. I don't know what time, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. They load me in. They take me over to Logan County Jail. Sheriff comes, picks me up. They transfer me over, book me in. I'm in Logan County overnight. I made a phone call. I called. I called my ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Hey, I need you to get hold of my parents for me. I need somebody to come bail me out, post bond for me in Bellefontaine. Please just get a hold of them. Sorry, I'm calling you. Sorry for this, and that sort of thing." Well, my ex-wife drove up to Bellefontaine, and she bonded me out. My bond was $1,100, so my bail was $110,000 or whatever, because it's 10%, right?
Yep.
My bond was $1,100. Apparently I was a flight risk because I live in Bellefontaine.
What?
Like, I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Where am I gonna leave the state? I guess.
They just weren't happy with you.
Yeah, they weren't.
They weren't happy.
But I wasn't belligerent, but I was definitely argumentative. I definitely was not giving
all
them.
that brown stuff, bro.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't giving them what they wanted,
Yeah.
and they weren't very happy with me. And
Yeah.
the cop was a total. He's doing his job, but you don't have to be a douchebag to do your job.
Yep.
You go ahead and you can do your job and
Mhm.
understand that if you're going to deal with people that are not in the right state of mind,
Yeah.
they're you don't have to handle things the way you handle them.
Mhm.
And he didn't. While I was at fault, and I own it,
Yeah.
he was not.
Yeah. I get it.
He did not make the situation any better.
I get it.
The sheriff's department was different. They were good because, like, they got me out and they were booking me in, and I'm telling them everything, and I'm doing everything like that. And the dude looks at me, he goes, "Because you got to be about the nicest person I've ever put in jail." I just started laughing. I was like, "Well, what am I going to do?" I said, "Where am I going to? Why does it help to be argumentative?"
Yeah.
And
I've never been argumentative.
he got a big kick out of that. And they were good to me. They were nice. They
Yeah.
were good to me. But I digressed again. She bailed me out, posted my bond, and then left me. Didn't take me back. She was not happy with me.
Figured out.
She posted my bond, and I got out, and I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't let you.
Just
where
walk
Logan
out.
County, well, most jails do. Most
Yeah.
jails will let you, once you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
And you're on your own.
Yeah.
and they don't force you to get a ride. But apparently, Logan County, there's a railroad track that runs right past there, and they had released somebody, and they actually got hit by a train walking on the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
and they were held responsible for it. So, like, well, they can't do that anymore. So now they require you to get a ride. You can't do it. So I had to call. I got a hold of my buddy who got to walk into his apartment because he was in the back seat of my, Jeep at the time, and I called him, and he got one of our good friends lives up by Indian Lake, lives at Russell's Point. He came and they picked me up from the jail and took me back to my buddy's apartment. I got my things, and I got in my Jeep and drove home.
Sure.
So I violated probation by drinking and driving, and I went back and got right back in my vehicle
Yeah.
and drove back to Springfield 45 minutes
Absolutely.
with no license.
Yeah.
And got a hold of my attorney. It's it's November the 10th at this point, which is my sobriety date. It's November the 10th, and I'm laying on the couch, and it's the Michigan Penn State game. Go Blue. He's the I had to say it. It's a Michigan Penn State game. Yeah. It's going to be a big one this weekend. So, oh no. I'm laying on the couch and I'm thinking, man, I got to get some food. I'm at my parents' house. They are in Florida. They don't know any of this has happened. I'm supposed to be watching the house, and I'm supposed to be responsible, and I'm none of that. And I get back in the Jeep, and I drive down to Walmart, which is literally right down the street from them, less than a mile. And I'm talking to my attorney on the phone while I'm driving. He's like, "Are you driving right now?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That's probably not a good idea. You understand this, right?" He goes, "If you get pulled over, you're going straight to jail." And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm pulling into Walmart. I'm a mile from the house." I said, "I park it. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't drive." I said, "But I got to get to work." I said, "So what do I got to do?" So he was working on getting me an injunction that allowed me to get driving privileges to do all the things I needed to do. But I'm feeling pretty low.
Yeah.
I'm beating myself up, and I know that I got to stop. I know that it's a problem. At this point, I've accepted it's a problem.
Yeah. It's now affected your family, your job, your life, your mental health, probably taking, effect on your body at this point too.
I'm certainly not in the best shape that I'd ever been in, mentally, emotionally, physically, any of that.
Yeah. Yet we cannot quit.
No,
you couldn't quit on.
No. And this is the kicker to it. And I've said this in my lead, every time pretty much. My ex-wife knows my sponsor, and my sponsor and I graduated at the same time from different schools here in Springfield. We traveled in the same circles. I knew who he was. He knew who I was in passing. We didn't really know each other, but we knew who each other was in certain circles anyway. And my ex-wife knew him really well, though, because he went to the city school and she went to a city school, and her boyfriend was a really good baseball player, and they, at the time when they were in high school, and she knew him. And she's like, "You need to," and he was married to a girl that I graduated with, and his kids played sports with my kids, and it was kind of a weird small world thing. But she's like, "You need to get a hold of him. You need to talk to him." This is the only thing she's saying to me after she left me in my fountain. "You need to get a hold of him. You need to talk to him. You need to get some help. To figure this out, because this is not good for you. It's not good for your kids." All the while she's still drinking and doing her thing. But it is what it is. I mean,
so you get to Walmart talking to your.
Get to Walmart, and I'm walking down the aisle, down the food aisle, and subconsciously I'm walking, and I'm almost to the alcohol aisle. I don't realize I'm doing it. I don't have a grocery cart. I went in there to get food. I went in there to get some water and some other drinks and things like that. And I'm literally walking with no cart, nothing in my hands, right towards the alcohol aisle.
Wow.
No idea. And who's standing at the end of the alcohol aisle? My now sponsor.
Wow.
He happened to be in there, and that's why I say it's divine. In my situation, it's a divine intervention. people can believe what they want to believe, religion wise, and you know, whatever your faith is and however you handle things. But I'm telling you right now, it was not an accident that he was standing where he was standing. He literally was at the end of the alcohol aisle with his grocery cart coming right at me, literally coming right at me with his grocery cart.
You cock block and
And
son of a bitch.
I looked up, and we made eye contact, and he was like, and he goes, "I just talked to your ex-wife," and I was like, "Yeah," and she gave me your number to get a hold of you, and he's like, "What do you need to do?" And I said, "I need help." And I've never asked for help in my life. I'm a type A personality, grown, you know, I'm a grown man. I'm a firstborn. I'm all of the things that says I don't need help, along with the fact that I'm an alcoholic, which we've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
You know,
Side note, real quick, his sponsor has also been my sponsor at one point in time, and I actually went through a 30-day McKinley Hall inpatient with him.
yeah,
So great guy. Anyways.
yeah. Excellent side note.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Well, why don't you come to a meeting with me tomorrow?" He goes, we can go tonight. I'm like, tonight, I'm not ready tonight. So tomorrow. So we ended up going to a Sunday night meeting in Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
And the meeting I was at it's a good meeting. It's at a church here in Springfield.
The big church?
Grace Lutheran. It's the one at Grace, the Sunday night
Was
meeting.
I there? I think
Yeah,
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
You and Aaron both were there.
Yeah.
And it just all came out. I mean, it just spilled my guts, and everything just came out. And I was wearing an alcohol monitor at the time because they immediately slapped one of those on me when I was leaving the jail.
Mm-hmm.
They put that on me. I was on house arrest, but I was allowed to go to meetings. So it was a house arrest. I had an ankle monitor for house arrest and alcohol monitoring. So there was two of them actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of where I'm at now. That was the start of me understanding we call it an illness, we call it a sickness, but I'm going to call it my malady, because I feel like malady is more, better describes it, because malady is something that's mental, that you can't control, that you can't handle, that affects everything around you.
There's a reason why the book calls it a malady.
Yeah. So I stick to malady, you know, rather than sickness or illness, because there's no cure for what I have. If you got a sickness or an illness, there's a cure. The malady I have, there's no cure for. There's only an answer. And the answer is the program. The answer for me, but you got to want it. And when we were talking about earlier, where I went to meetings and I was like, that's not me, and that's not me. And now I'm going to meetings going, oh my God, I do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did that. Absolutely. Oh my God, I completely understand. And the difference is the acceptance. And you know, in the book, in the big book, when it says you got to accept it, you know, you accept that you have an issue that you can't control, and then that God, you know, it says that God is the way. God, you know, God can help you be the cure for that. You got to, you know, accept that. And I didn't have a choice. God, I firmly believe God put my sponsor in front of me.
Yeah.
There. And I firmly believe that God continued to beat on me by letting me beat on myself, by letting me continue to make the mistakes, because I was not going to learn any other way.
Yeah.
And I say it's a lot. There's a lot of things, you know, time heals everything. I believe that firmly, but you can't expect to do 40 years of damage and have it all fixed in the moment.
Right.
I had the weight lifted from me. I didn't have the cravings. I didn't have the need for it anymore.
Now how soon was that you no longer had the cravings?
It was almost immediate.
Yeah.
Now, did I have user's dreams? Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, it's funny. I just had a user's dream about 2 weeks ago, and I was so mad at myself. In my own dream, I was so mad at myself. I was drinking. I was drinking Miller Lite in a bottle, and in my mind, I set that bottle down. I'm like, what the did I just do? What am I doing?
Yeah.
And I woke up. I was like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I was mad at myself in that dream. Now, people go back out and it happens. And I try not, it's not my place to judge what's good or what's bad. It depends on how it affects. I've been through a situation recently where it directly affected my life and it directly affected me. And I had to set some boundaries that were really, really hard to do.
Mhm.
I don't want to speak on that too much, but the fact of the matter is those boundaries were not a choice that I wanted to make, but it was a decision that had to happen.
Mhm.
Um, Forgiveness is a big thing, and you can forgive, but you can't forget. And the book says, we don't want to forget our past. Can't close the door on it. You
Mhm.
got to leave it open, because if you don't remember what you did,
Mhm.
if you don't use that and understand that, then you're going to repeat it, right? History repeats itself.
Yes, sir.
And insanity is to do the same thing again and again and again and expect a different outcome.
Mhm.
Make the change. You got to make that change. You got to accept it. You got to move forward. And if you don't accept it, and I've talked to, I've had some guys that wanted me to sponsor them, and I made the effort to sponsor them, but you're not making changes. You're not doing the things that you need to do to get better. And I've
Mhm.
cut that sponsorship. I've cut that sponsorship and said, I can't do that. I can't do this for you.
Yeah.
Because you're asking me to give you my time so you can continue to repeat the same behaviors. And I can't do
Yeah.
that for you.
Yeah.
Because my time is.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, why would you give up your valuable time if somebody's not going to put in 100%? And we need 100%.
Yeah, and it's not it's not as a sponsor in my mind, and there might be sponsors that feel differently about this, and they can say whatever they want to say, and I'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
But as a sponsor in my mind, I'm trying to show you the right way to do it. I'm trying to teach you, but I can't make you want it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make you do it. And if
Yeah.
you choose not to do it and you choose to repeat the same patterns again and again and again, I could be there for you. I could be a phone call. I
Yeah.
can be whatever you need, but I can't make you understand what you have to do it.
For sure.
And I can't make you choose.
Right.
And that's a big thing. So that's why I don't do a lot of sponsorship. Now I do
What did your first year of recovery look like?
no less than 3 meetings a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Met with my sponsor once a week, sometimes twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
We met, worked through the book.
Well, I mean, you obviously did a lot of damage, and I know that first year you had to go through a lot of struggles. What were your
Yeah.
struggles?
My struggles. Well, I was still wearing an alcohol monitor.
Mhm.
Uh,
Did you do jail time?
I did. Yeah, I did 18 days. I had a heck of an attorney.
Yeah.
And
Had to.
it should have been 30 days. Yeah, we did gloss all over that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So for that last OEI, I did 18 days in Logan County.
Mm-hmm.
I went in with a broken bone in my foot from riding my bike because you can't drive anywhere. At least I'm trying to do the right thing.
You broke your foot?
I did. I was riding a bike and blew the tire out of the back of my bike. I was riding. It was raining, and I blew the tire going around a corner, and on a 10 speed, and in the rain on Columbus Avenue, a
Man.
busy street, and it just blew the tire out, and literally it exploded because I was coming around the corner, and when I fell off the bike, I jammed my foot down like that, and I broke a bone in the side of my foot. So
That had to make you feel even more down. That
so
moment laying on the ground.
first week I was in the infirmary. First week I was in medical, and medical in Logan County is like you might as well be in a zoo. It's a big glass room,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 2 beds in there. I had a partner that was in the other side with me, and but it's the main entrance in and out
Shit.
of
So
all the
everybody's just
blocks.
walking right past you while you're
Anytime they
changing
walk
in there?
anybody out, anytime they walk anybody in, they're walking right past me. And I'm just sitting in there.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, dude, especially when you're trying to go to the bathroom or something, it's right there. And trust me, it's
What?
oh yeah, right
That's
there.
crazy.
Right there. It's right
Really?
where yeah, it's right there. So but I did 18 days. Hardest part of those 18 days, I ended up being I always want to call it a steward. It's not a steward. I worked in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
After I got out of medical, they let me work in the kitchen. So I was in a different block. I wasn't in the, I was in the, I don't know what it's called.
So was that the very beginning of your recovery though? Like at your first 18 days?
No,
Was that
no. So I didn't go to jail until they let me finish the school year. So you're talking about this happening in November. I worked clear through until May.
Mm-hmm.
They let me finish the school year.
So you're about 6 months.
Springfield City didn't fire me. Springfield City didn't fire me. I was about 6 months sober at the time. Springfield City, I still had my job. I was still working. Um, I was going to work every day, going to school every day with an ankle monitor on,
Mm.
working in the south end of Springfield.
Riding a bike.
No, I was driving, and no, I didn't have driver's privileges. Just so you know, I was driving.
Yeah.
5 year license suspension, 18 days in jail.
Yeah.
5 years probation.
Shit. So you just got off that a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, just all came about, and I did the.
Sorry.
Is that Charlie or Carter?
That's Carter. He's Ellen on.
So I um got out of jail. So I was going to school every day with an ankle monitor on and going to meetings and doing everything that I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the meetings I wanted to go to, I was still on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I was still recording it on paper, and then I um, ended up losing my job. I had to go through the state of Ohio. Uh, I had to go through the state of Ohio. Um, it took them 3 years to get back to me on what they needed me to do in order for me to keep my teaching license.
Mm-hmm.
And then they suspended me for failure to have a license while being in the classroom, which is my licenses were pending in the system. They had all the things they needed from me
Right.
in order for that to happen. So it kind of got a shaft, but I can't.
Can't be
I put
hacked.
myself there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I put myself in the situation.
This is what I tell so many people, man. Like, when we first come in, man, it is hard, especially with all this damage we've done. And like, I think that's a lot of people's struggle is just getting through that first few years where you're like busting your ass and trying to build your life after all these years of damage.
Yeah.
And it's always a different story for other people, but it's funny because it usually starts with a God moment. I like for me, I have no idea how I ended up in McKinley Hall the first time. Couldn't tell you. I don't know if I called them. I have no recollection of how I got in there. No clue.
Yeah.
God moment. And then your God moment was like that clarity or whatever when you got pulled over that last time, and it's just like and meeting up with Billy in the grocery store.
Well, there were multiple ones for
There's
me
always
there.
God moments for people, and then there's always that struggle for the first few years. And if you get through that struggle, man, you start getting the blessings of recovery. It's
Yeah. But I was very strict about I stayed away from everything that I could. I had a lot of friends they're still friends, we're still friends, but I didn't spend any time I don't spend time with them.
yeah,
We talk and we see each other, but there's not a lot of hanging out anymore and things like that. It's not that they're
Yeah.
judging me, and it's not that they're saying, oh, well,
or vice versa.
yeah, vice
Yeah.
versa. It's just the best thing that
Yeah.
can happen. But you got to take care of you got to want it. And you got to do it. I mean, I just dealt with, so I'm 7 years sober, 5 years suspension was up, and I've been driving for 2 years without a driver's license
Yep.
after my probation.
Yep.
And just got arrested, or not arrested, but I got pulled over and got a ticket and had to go to court for that.
Mhm.
And I just made all the restitution that I had to make, the financial restitution I had to make to get my license reinstated.
Yeah.
And I did the test, and I have my temporary license.
Right now.
Yeah, I got to take the drive. I'm allowed to drive.
So you're still dealing with the consequences.
Yeah,
of
but
this
it's
shit.
because I didn't take care of that. I
7
could have
years.
taken care of this a lot sooner.
Sure.
This
Absolutely.
this is one of those things that the alcoholic mind, this just proves to you that no matter even how far along you are, the
Mhm.
alcoholic mind still has control. It still wants to do things. I
Trying to
still,
beat the system.
yeah,
Yeah.
still try to get
Yep.
over from time to time.
Yep. I came in at 27 the first time, and it took me 3 years to get a license. I had never had my license in my entire life. I was 30 years old before I got my license for
Really?
the first time. Yep.
Really?
Luckily, I didn't get pulled over during that time, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I totally get it, man, driving without a license. And sometimes we have to bend the rules a little bit.
And I
when
could have-
first come in. It's just,
I was
get-
I was lucky. There was another, we'll call it another God moment too. I got to finish my school year out, and I taught for 2 years after that. But I got to finish my school year out that year because when I came back to Springfield
Mhm.
after doing my time up there, and I went in on Memorial Day,
Mm-hmm.
and I got out the day after Father's Day.
Yeah.
18 days was the end of May through the beginning of June, and that was the toughest thing, is being in jail on Father's Day. That Sunday
I
of
remember
Father's
that.
Day,
Yeah.
that Sunday of Father's Day was the 18th,
Yeah.
and I got out the 19th. The
I
18th was
remember.
I went in on June 1st, or I went on May 31st
Mm-hmm.
and got out the 19th. That's my 18 days.
Yep.
18 solid. They weren't
Yep.
giving me any breaks.
Well, of course not.
No,
You
because
already got
they
breaks.
got it knocked down. I should have been in there 30 to 60,
Yeah.
and they got it knocked down to 18. So I wasn't getting a break there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I came back to Springfield for probation violation,
Mm-hmm.
driving without license, driving under suspension, and all of that,
Yeah.
he let me wear the monitor.
So after this, when you first went to your first meeting, you pretty much knew that you were done from this point on. So when was the moment in time where you were like kind of like took a breath and you were like, all right, this is the way I should be living my life. This feels good. This is right. Like, you know what I mean?
It was
Like when did things start paying off for you being in recovery?
probably after my first year, really.
Mm-hmm.
That first year was an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And you get your chips when you go, you get your coins, whatever you guys want to call them. I always call them chips, but you get
Mm-hmm.
your chips when you go for your 30 days, your 1 day clean and your 30 days and your 60 days and your 90 days. And you go through your months and stuff. And then all of a sudden you go and here you are, was the last one, 6 months. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go 6 more months. And now it's been a year,
Mm-hmm.
or
9 months, 9 months to a
9
year.
months
Yeah.
to a year. And, you all of a sudden it's been a year.
Yeah, it's kind of like out of body
and
experience.
now
It's
and now you have
surreal.
that time, and you can look, and if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing mentally, trying to keep yourself where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a huge meditator. It's funny, my sponsor just sent me the NA readings. He sends me the NA readings pretty
Mm-hmm.
regular because he's NA, I'm AA, but it crosses over and it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how we meditate to ease our mind and get
Yeah.
our stuff. And you know that from working out, that we would work out and then we'd meditate,
Mm-hmm.
and to bring the mind back down after we get the body amped up and get the dopamine going and
Yeah.
all the science behind it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I need to meditate better. But if you do any self-reflection at all, which you should do,
Mm-hmm.
steps 4 and 5, when you do your self-reflection there and you do your list, and it tears you apart because you're like, oh my God, stuff I've done. If you really do it right,
Yes.
you should feel like a piece of trash when you come out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, if you do that reflection after a year and you sit there and look at it, oh my God, I made it this far. I'm this
Mm-hmm.
far. The only thing holding me back was me.
Yeah.
And you hear in meetings all the time, so you can't, pick up the phone. It weighs 10,000 pounds. You can't pick it up. And you hear those analogies and you hear that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And that the only reason you can't pick it up is because of ego.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you can't pick it up is because you don't want to ask for help. That's 99.9%.
Mm-hmm.
That's ego.
What do you think this program, what is the thing that you are most grateful for that you've gotten from working a program and being sober?
My kids' respect.
Yeah.
My kid's back.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship. It's still not great with my oldest son. I know he went through a lot when we got divorced,
Yeah.
and then he saw the person that he thought was freaking Superman spiral out of control,
Mm-hmm.
and lost a lot of respect and a lot of he just didn't want to be, number one, like me,
Yeah.
and number two, around me,
Mm-hmm.
because he's got some anxiety things, and that's all my doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my doing. I took a kid who was an amazing, amazing young kid, and I damaged him to the point that he's still, dealing with it.
Yeah.
And he's 25. He was
Mhm.
9 when the
Wow.
divorce happened. So looking at that and understanding that they love and they care and they respect me,
Mm-hmm.
again, even though there's still work to be done.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't ask for a greater gift
Mm-hmm.
than that, because they're my world.
Of course. Yeah.
So, and sorry,
Oh, you're
but
good.
they're the one thing you do when you have kids is you Some people have kids because they can. I had kids because I wanted kids.
Yeah.
It wasn't a can thing.
Hmm.
And the one thing that you do is you promise God and the world that you're gonna do everything you can to protect them. And when you do the things that I did, that does nothing but destroy their world.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm lucky to be in a position that's a God thing too, that they can look at me and feel proud or any kind of respect
Or be able to
or
come to you when they need you.
have that kind of conversation and that kind of thing. And like I said, I'm still working on it with my oldest. My other three kids, they were a little younger when it was happening. They saw it, but they sort of have a better, different, it's different for all of them,
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, just getting that back and having that and it meaning something,
Hmm.
being present,
Yeah.
being actually being present,
Yeah.
being present emotionally, mentally, and physically, and not just a guy in their life.
That's why it's so important to work our program is it's not just about quitting the drinking or the drugs. It's about owning up to what you've done, making amends for it, and then making that a living amends and helping others.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's that hit me kind of hard, man. So are you on talking terms at all with your oldest son
Oh
now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's about to graduate college. He'll graduate in May, and he's at Ohio State. Told him I love him.
Yeah.
Told him I love him. I can't root for his school. Uh, but there's been some healing there.
Hmm.
Not as much as I'd like. I know he's still apprehensive, and I know he's still, he's living his own life at this point. And there's an old song called "Cats in the Cradle," and it's about a guy that he's growing up a kid that wants to spend time with his dad, and his dad's too busy to spend time with him. And then when the kid's grown, the dad wants to spend time with the kid, and the kid's too busy to spend time with the dad. That's what the whole thing is with that story.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I think about it, and I think that I missed the times when he wanted to spend that time with me because of my selfishness and my behavior
Hmm.
and who I was at that moment.
Hmm.
And um and I had so much regret for that. And all I can do is go from where we're at, now in my journey, in my path. All I can do now is try to make sure that I'm there when he wants me to be there
Hmm.
and when he doesn't.
I
When
think there's a third part to that too. You're right that there's the younger phase where they want to do nothing but spend time with you, and then they get older and they don't want anything to do with you. But then I think after like college and they get older,
Yeah,
they always want to come back and
it's
spend time with
coming.
the parent.
It's coming.
They
Yeah,
always do.
I agree with that. I agree with
Yeah.
that. And it's nice that, with my younger three are here in town. Um, I got two of them. One of them will be 23 and the other one will be
Mm-hmm.
18 here in December.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a 20-year-old in between there,
Yeah.
and then my 25-year-old in Columbus. But the three that are here in town, I get to spend a lot of good time with them,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not, sometimes it's just dinner on a Sunday and they come over and they eat. I make dinner, they come over, they hang out, we watch a movie and
Well, I mean,
that
the
sort of stuff.
one son came over here and helped build my deck.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean?
Well, actually, two of them were here.
Yeah,
Two of
absolutely.
them were here, but Garrett worked with me. My youngest son worked with me all summer,
Hmm.
this summer, doing construction and renovations and stuff.
That's fantastic.
Oh, dude, the time I get is amazing.
Yeah.
With that. And then my second son, Grayson, he worked with me as well, but he's about to graduate college. Um, he'll graduate here in December with a sports science degree, and he'll be a trainer. So
Wow.
they've for all the damage I did in their lives, they're fairly well adjusted. They've seen the highs and the lows, and they know how to keep things on plane, which is
I
nice.
think you did do some damage, but I think you were also like, you showed them that warning sign too of what to not do.
I
And
always
now look how successful all of them are.
I make a joke out of it all the time, and I was like, the things you're doing. See, I'm the poster child. I'm the poster child for why you don't do those things.
I mean,
So
that's
just
that's
think
our
about it.
only goal in life is to raise children that grow up to be better than us.
Yeah. And my kids, I mean, they drink. Not my youngest son doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest son drinks like I did, and he worries me sometimes.
Okay.
But he doesn't. But so Uber and things that weren't available when I was in
Yeah.
my heyday
Yeah.
are available now. So he takes precautions and safety things, but it doesn't necessarily slow him down from his drinking sometimes.
Mm.
But he's also got a lot of stress, and he's going to graduate with a chemistry degree from Ohio State, which is amazing.
Wow.
Um, so I'll let him do whatever he needs to do to appease and to relieve his stress. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I just kind of keep an eye on it because it worries me.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second son, he fluctuates back and forth. He likes his crown. And he'll drink it,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll drink it too much sometimes.
Shit.
But he's got his head on right. He does the things that he's supposed to do. But I did too. At his age. At
Mm.
his age, I was drinking like that, but I was still moving forward, running a business at that time. And doing going to school at that time too. Before I dropped out, and I'm just I'm fortunate. I'm blessed for who they are and what they're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
if you look at your life and you think, boy, I really screwed things up. What can I do? There's nothing I can do. If you take if you take that avenue, there's nothing you can do.
Sure. Okay, so do you have any words or thoughts or suggestions for somebody that's just coming in and they're tired, they're beat up, and what would you suggest to them if they were sitting right here right now?
Check your ego at the door. You do not know everything. You're not smarter than everybody in the room.
Yeah.
I don't care what your IQ is.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a guy that gave up and gave his lead not too long ago. That's one of the most brilliant people I know.
Mm-hmm.
Practiced medicine, is
Yeah.
brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
and thought he had it all figured out. And he'll be the first one to tell you
Yeah.
he's not smarter than the game. And
Yeah.
that's the lie.
Mm-hmm.
We convince ourselves that we can work. We're smart enough to get it figured out.
Mm.
And so check your ego.
Yeah.
Check it at the door. Listen to what people tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to be in a group of uh, men that when they were all in the room together in a private meeting that they had, when they were all in a room together, there was over there was 175 or 180 years worth of sobriety in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate enough to have enough sense to look at them and go, I don't know more than these guys.
Right.
And it wasn't because
Yeah.
they were smarter than me, it's because their experience.
Yeah.
And that's the piece that we don't get. There might
They're
be
doing
somebody.
something I haven't been able to do by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done something that I haven't been able to accomplish. How do I get what they
Mm-hmm.
want or
Yep.
what they need? Which that goes back to you got to want it.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, you're not done.
Do you think you got as much as you thought you would out of this program? Or
I got more out of it than I thought I would.
yeah.
I didn't know what I would get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I thought it was a joke in the beginning.
Yeah.
My first few times through,
Mm-hmm.
I get that big book. I don't need that book. I don't need these meetings. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've read that big book like 7 times now, once a year. Try to go through. I mean, I read the whole thing, but I definitely pick out spots and I read it. When
Yeah.
we go into meetings and we have the meetings, I can repeat exactly what they're saying up there with the 12 traditions and the 12.
Yeah.
I know it. It's here.
Yeah.
And it's here because I needed it and I wanted it.
I mean, it taught me everything. It taught me how to be a man. It taught me how to be a father. It taught me how to have a connection with a higher power. It taught me how to forgive and to admit when I'm wrong and everything.
It taught me I don't know everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought for sure I did at times.
I did not know a damn thing when I'll be the first one to admit it. Where do you see yourself from 10 years from now?
Hopefully, I'm running a business right now, self-employed, single guy doing a lot of work. Hopefully, I've expanded that and I'm not working as hard as I'm working as an older man at 55. I'm really putting in time, but hopefully I've expanded that and I get a little more time to myself. Hopefully I'm still sober. I can't project that 10 years from now. Tomorrow's good enough.
Mhm.
Right now is perfect.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's good enough.
Stay in the moment, huh?
Maybe some grandkids. Maybe my kids are there. Get some
Yeah.
grandkids.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I would say I mean, that's a goal right there to stay sober. It's just for them grandkids, so you can have that connection with them and have that relationship with them that you didn't get to have with your kids. You know,
Yeah. And
experience it through your grandkids.
there's a lot of, there's a lot of still things that need, every daily, there's work daily.
Hmm.
It's cleaning up stuff daily.
Yeah,
That's
life's
the
not
piece.
easy.
Once you put it into your daily life, once you go to the grocery store and you're mad at somebody at the grocery store because they got their cart in the middle of the way and you're in a rush to do this and you're trying to hurry to do that.
Hmm.
And you look at that and go, how really important is that?
Yeah, be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea that to look at it and go, you know what? They got life too. I don't know what's going on in their world.
Hmm.
I don't know what they're facing because you
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you can put that kind of thought and that kind of learning that you get from this program, once you become self-reflective and introspective,
Hmm.
you start thinking about wonder what they're thinking about right now.
Yeah. I mean, they could have just lost a kid. You don't even know it.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Any last words of wisdom or affirmations you want to leave with us before we head on out?
Just grateful to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
I couldn't do this myself. I say that every time I get a chip. People always ask, how'd you do it? Screaming across the room. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. The only thing I'm responsible for is getting myself to where I was supposed to be so I could work this program and do what I needed to do. I didn't
Hmm.
do this. God did it for me.
That's
And
right.
and I'm not an ultra religious person, but
Me either.
my goodness, my goodness, and the way my life played out and the way things happened, there's no answer to why it did what it did.
Divine intervention, man. Divine intervention is what happened to me.
Yep. Got to want it, got to do it, be grateful and thankful every day, show that gratitude.
Hmm. Yeah. I appreciate you, Chuck. I thank you for coming on here and being willing to share your story and a little bit of knowledge with us.
I appreciate
So,
you too. I mean, it's all I got.
yeah.
All I got's experience.
We're gonna end it on that, man. I just love having you. I love having you here at the house. So
All right.
good
Thanks,
seeing you,
man.
man.
Yep.
Later.
Thank you. Bye.
Gotta end it. Go blam.